lab could not even house that thing for, we could not take it there. They were not accepting it. Whether it be for destruction, disposal, analysis, they were not taking these exhibits. Bottom line, the lab could not take it either for analysis or destruction.
No, but you never made a request for a destruction. You certainly have not testified, and we don't have anyway in your statements, other than your discussion with Sitsedi, which was a general discussion, you say. No way was a request made to the, at least remind me if I'm wrong in my recollection of the evidence. No way is it your evidence that you requested, a request was made to the lab to destroy these exhibits, and that request was refused.
Commissioner, once again, I'm going to say, you cannot destroy, how can I ask the lab to destroy exhibits that they don't have? Firstly, it's a matter of getting these exhibits to the lab. Then step 2 is a destruction or disposal. You don't just, if the lab can't house it, how are they going to destroy it?
Your answer then suggests that the only destiny for these drugs was they were going to be stolen, because this lab was not going to have them because they don't have space. And Pretoria, you tell us, you even tried Pretoria, it doesn't have space. So these labs, these drugs were never going to be destroyed by the lab. Even though you've done the investigation, you have finished, and their destiny was to be stolen. It actually turned out the way that it was going to be, on your account.
Commissioner, if there was a way I could magically make those drugs or destroy them on my own, or if there's any other thing further I could have done to destroy those drugs, maybe the Commission can enlighten me what else I could have done, because I fail to see it.
I can't enlighten you. I'm just a civilian. You're the one with the experience in that space. You're the one that's sitting with these drugs. You're the one that makes the decision to retain them, even after you were told that there was an attempt to steal. You're at the very least, you're part of the decision to keep them there, even after you were told that there was an attempted break-in. You tell us that the lab could never take these because Amanzimtoti doesn't have the space. And really, I'm now testing what you're telling us, that according to you, what was going to be the fate of these drugs? Because you say the lab did not have capacity to take these drugs. They just don't have the space. And now you say they could never destroy them because they don't have the space to take them. So maybe you're the one that should enlighten me, at least. What was the ultimate fate of these drugs then, in your way of the way you've looked at it and the way you're explaining it?
Okay, Commissioner, if I may use the example of the Isipingo Mandrax, that was also, it's not that much different to our scenario here at Port Shepstone. We're sitting with a whole consignment of drugs. The lab doesn't have space to accommodate it. So in that case, there was no analysis done. It's only 1 year, 9 months later, after the theft of this cocaine, that now FSL Pretoria says now we've got place, and miraculously they take those exhibits from February 2020. They take it now on the 12th of November 2021. And they also take those exhibits from Maiden Wharf from the 8th month. It's now 3 months down the line, and they take it on the 12th of November, which should be a clear indication that that's the time the lab realized there is a problem here. More drugs are going to get stolen, and it's going to point back to us. So I'm saying, if I use that Mandrax as an example, the similar procedure, the lab could not keep it, house it, but when eventually they took it, it went straight for destruction. So that's what my endeavors were, to take it for destruction, to do whatever.
Exactly my question, Colonel, that what you're explaining about the Mandrax, it went for destruction, not for storage. I'm asking exactly the same question. Why did you not ask your commander to issue a destruction notice so that these drugs go for destruction, not for keeping? And I don't hear your answer.
Okay. It's not up to us, Commissioner. It's not as simple as today we do a destruction notice and we take it for destruction. The lab has certain periods or intervals that they take drugs for destruction to a certain, I won't disclose the location, but there's an incinerator there. So it's not as simple as I just complete the 83A and tell them to dispose and they say, okay, bring it up today. That's why I used the Mandrax example, Commissioner. The same story. We were trying to get it disposed of, and the lab only managed to do a disposal 1 year, 9 months.
No, let's come back to the cocaine. Let's come back to this cocaine. Can we agree you have never, except for your conversation with Setsedi, you've never asked the lab to destroy these drugs, that you have drugs that you are keeping and you want them to be destroyed? There's never been that request to the lab.
I didn't do it in writing, but I did communicate with the FSL in Pretoria, and there was no destruction, no place to even house these exhibits.
You are dealing with Amanzi Mtoti, you're speaking to Setsedi, you're speaking to Kuzwayo, they are closest to you. Can we just confine this discussion to that? You have never asked Amanzi Mtoti to destroy, to take these drugs for destruction. It's a yes or no answer. And if it's a no, you can say, I've asked them and here's proof that we did ask them. Because as matters stand now, all we have about a discussion on destruction, it's with the wrong person, Setsedi. It's with that. So I'm asking you I'm asking you for a different person. I'm asking you to say, yes, we did, and this is how we did it with Amanzi Mtoti.
Commissioner, upon my engagements with Colonel Kuzwayo, she was fully aware of our issue with 541 kilos. Like I say, she's the one who guided me on how to take samples. So,
on the 23rd of June, you were already asking Colonel Kuzwayo about destruction.
No, she was aware. My point being, Commissioner, she was aware that the lab could not. The process, Commissioner, is not that they just destroy it. They need to house it first to destroy it. They need to accept it first to destroy it. FSL Toti does not destroy exhibits on their own. They have to liaise with Pretoria. We take it up. So my hands were tied. They have to accept it first before they destroy it, and they couldn't accept it.
But no, you can't say they couldn't accept it if you didn't ask. You can say, I assumed that because I know they don't have space. This is yet another case of an assumption. I'm asking you a direct question, and I think the answer to it is yes, you did not ask, but I would like you to tell me differently. My question to you is, apart from your discussion with Setsedi, did you ask for a destruction of these exhibits that you are holding in Port Shepstone? Was such a request made to FSL Amanzi Mtoti?
I didn't do any formal written request, but with my engagements with Colonel Kuzwayo, she was aware of our
How many engagements did you have with Colonel Kuzwayo and when? You're going to have to be specific because right now we have only the 23rd, and it would be very curious, I think, to everybody that already on the 23rd you were talking destruction. So I want to suggest that you were not discussing destruction on that day. Otherwise, you have a lot of explaining to do why the day after the seizure you are talking about destruction. So your engagement with Kuzwayo must have been on other occasions. You haven't, at least I don't remember reading your statement, coming upon many discussions with Kuzwayo about destruction.
Okay, I don't know the exact dates or times, and like I say, I did try for my cell phone records, but I would have asked her maybe in a month or two down the line, and she was aware, like I say, and it was telephonic communications. It wasn't something formalized where we send them emails. It was all done over the phone.
But that's not how you ask for destructions, right? You've explained to us that a notice is prepared by your commander, a destruction notice is signed off by your commander, and then that gets served on the FSL.
Yes, but once again, Commissioner, I'm saying completing that SAP 83A does not guarantee you are getting to destroy your...
Yes, I'm not saying it guarantees, but at the very least what it would do, it would have given us a record that a request was made to FSL to destroy, and this is how they responded. They said they are not in a position to do this right now because they don't have capacity. It would give us that. Right now, we have your informal, you yourself call it informal. You have your alleged informal telephone discussion, undated telephone discussion with Colonel Khumalo that I asked whether they can do this. And by the way, you've also said it's your commander, it's not you, it's actually your unit commander who's got the power, whether they call you unit commander, to do that. So it's not your discussion to have. So whatever discussion you had with Colonel Khuzwayo, it doesn't count. I'm asking you about doing it by the book. The book says you do a notice or a release form, whatever that form is called. It is what is given to FSL. You didn't do that, right?
No, I'd still maintain, Commissioner, it doesn't work that way. The SAP 83A, only when the lab has possession of your exhibits, that's when they accept an 83A.
That's why I say to you, then these drugs, on your version, were destined to be stolen. Their fate was to be stolen because that lab doesn't have capacity for this quantity. And yet you are talking to them. You are asking informally. But you keep, which doesn't make sense, that you know they don't have capacity. That's what you tell us. You know they don't have capacity, but you keep asking her, when are you going? Can you destroy, or however you framed it? You keep doing that. It doesn't add up, I'm sorry. It doesn't. You can comment if you want to.
No, I'll reserve my comment, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Commissioner.